Hello everyone, thank you for coming on to my channel again. And for today's video, I would like to give my comments on the issue of is vernacular school the cause of unity in this country? Now this is a favorite topic of used to be UMNO, but now Parti Islam Malaysia is also getting on to be using this as a popular tool to be weaponized in order to frighten the Malays and also to paint the non-Malays as being disloyal, as well as the one causing all this disunity. Well, in tonight's video, I will outline 13 very simple issues that has come up within just the last 1 or 2 years that shows that vernacular school had nothing to do with unity. But these 13 issues were the ones that has been raised, and they have nothing to do with whatever curriculum of vernacular school, whatever the vernacular school poses. Next, I will talk about what is always said about Bahasa Malaysia, that the vernacular school uses less Bahasa Malaysia, and therefore this leads to non-unity. And finally, we'll talk about the logistics of overcrowding in schools and how the private schools, international schools, the vernacular schools actually are helping within that perspective. Now, first of all, let's tackle the idea that some UMNO youth member saying that you must close the vernacular school so that the students can come into the public school, and then we have peace on earth. Okay? And then the use of Bahasa Malaysia always being brought up and things like that. Well, let's look at what caused disunity in this country. Now, first of all, we all remember the KK Mat issue. What was the issue? There was a few stocking, not 2,000 stocking, that had the name Allah. And immediately it blew up into something that was termed as a religious conflict. All it would, even the owner said, well, this was a mistake, we didn't order this, and then now we apologize for that. And that's not enough, because some UMNO leader likes to say sorry no cure, and wants to boycott this and wants to threaten this KKMAT, and also to the point of bankruptcy, not caring that there are people working in KKMAT, 800 outlets and things like that. They don't care. So what has this got to do with vernacular school? Nothing. This issue could have easily been resolved by a simple act of forgiveness and accepting. Okay, so it was a mistake. Well, next time don't make the mistake lah, please. Just talk nicely. So what's the problem? There is no problem there. And then we have the issue of the Parti Islam Malaysia calling Lim Kit Siang being related to Chin Peng. Why are they doing this? They're doing this simply because to paint the Chinese as a kind of communist, as if you can inherit communist hereditary. It's such a stupid concept that I seldom use the word stupid, especially to a person who has PhD. How can you can't even hereditary wise accept Islam? If people were to read the book by Abul A'la Maududi, he said you cannot be an inherited Muslim. You must be a Muslim by virtue of you understanding what it means to be a Muslim. Of course, now your name is Muhammad Tajuddin and your father and mother are Muslims. If you die, you are buried in a Muslim cemetery, but that doesn't make you Muslim. In the eyes of God, it doesn't, because it cannot be inherited hereditary. Okay, so that is where we look at this issue. Where is the vernacular school in this aspect? Does vernacular school teach communism? It doesn't. And how is it relating to Chin Peng has anything to do with vernacular school? Those people who are weaponizing the idea of communism as a threat to Malays and Islam are the ones that is causing disunity. Then we see again the same party commenting on all the red flags of China, right? Even though we already have a good relationship with China in terms of economics, I have many students who are PhD students from China, and we exchange tourism and exchange the idea of education, so many things. At UKM, they're broaching into China and other places in order to maybe set up institutions of learning, and we are giving also what do you call it, honorary doctorate to people from China. This sort of thing is going on, and there is no issue. What is the issue? The issue is one political party trying again to weaponize the idea of relationship with China, the idea of communism, and also all these things. So that has nothing to do with vernacular school. We also have heard about the issue of the Kampung China going to be or being suggested to be gazetted for the UNESCO heritage. It is the same issue with the idea of bak kut teh as a food that is also part of heritage. Now tell me, how is it that this idea of declaring heritage has anything to do with vernacular school? For me, both are our heritage, Malaysian heritage. Now people say they are not Malay heritage. Yes, they are not, but they are Malaysian heritage because at one history they were instrumental in preventing the spread of communism, and they had to sacrifice their lifestyle and their homes and things like that. Imagine you having to leave your home and then going to live in this prison, okay? Except that it's a village prison, it's not a prison as we understand it. Similarly with bak kut teh, there are some that is not pork based. You can make a halal bak kut teh. There are shops that sell halal bak kut teh in Singapore, I was told. And again, what has this got to do with vernacular school? None. It's just some people who are stupid enough or ignorant enough, but also evil enough to actually make this an issue. Stupidity is one thing, we can forgive that. But purposely doing it in order to rile up emotions and all these things, that is unforgivable. Then we have the Christmas issue. The Christmas issue where KPKT was having this Christmas celebration, and people were saying, "Oh, this one, you are insulting Islam." Again, everything is insulting Islam, and therefore now JAKIM almost had a guideline how to handle whatever visits or having Christmas or anything other than Islamic celebration. After that, JAKIM went to celebrate or sponsor or organize a Chinese New Year. So we can see that this has nothing again to do with vernacular school, just either ignorant people or evil people trying to divide us. And we have the issue of kafir harbi, again by this party Islam Malaysia. The kafir harbi against DAP. DAP is mostly Chinese, so it's very easy target. All right. So where is this vernacular school? I would like to ask this UMNO youth, where's this vernacular school that is creating this unity? It's this party Islam Malaysia. Why don't you go and whack them? Why didn't you defend your partner now, DAP, and chastise these people who calling them kafir harbi? There was also the pronouncement of the Kunut Nazilah, which is the declaration of all which are not in Perikatan Nasional as enemies of Islam, meaning Malays, non-Malays, whoever it is not part of Perikatan Nasional, they are all enemies of, not enemies of Perikatan Nasional, but enemies of Islam. Now, who is sowing discord? Who is sowing this unity? It is not vernacular school. It is, as I said, ignorant people, arrogant people, or evil people. We also have our Tun Dr. Mahathir calling on pendatang. The idea of this pendatang, they don't want to learn this Malay language lah. They don't want to live their lifestyle. They are still holding on to the China thing or the India thing. Therefore, they are disloyal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, quite recently I was invited to a luncheon with 300 retired military service personnel who are all Chinese. They are the Malaysian Chinese Armed Forces Association. I didn't even know that it exists. I know that there were some non-Malays in the police force, in the military, but I didn't know there were so many, including women. All in the Navy, in the Air Force, in the army, all of them are Chinese. Of course, they are all old, 60, 70, 80 years old. Some are 90, the oldest 94. And then I had a chance to speak with a with a person who spent 20 years in the communist camp, so that he can give information to the police, because he was working for the army, in order to know how the communists were. A very dangerous job, and this is a Chinese. So don't talk loyalty to Dr. Mahathir, who has never held a gun probably. My father fought the communists. So those UMNO people who claims to be telling people not loyal, and also maybe people from another party who's Malay based also saying not loyal, completely unfair to those serving officers that I have met, in terms of all them are retired, and they were willing to lay down their life for the country, for the nation. Finally, we also heard this youth chief Akmal Saleh calling on this DAP member, go die. What kind of a talk is that? You ingat you something tepi jalan ke? Alright? You want to talk like that? You are supposed to be someone with a datuk shape. Of course, I will never call him a datuk, even in front of his face. But the point here is that this is what causes disunity, disrespect, your hatred, your disrespect. Not the Vernacular School. Okay, so now we turn on to the idea of Bahasa Malaysia. Oh, Vernacular School don't teach Bahasa Malaysia, therefore we have disunity. Well, let's look. Number one, we have UiTM. They don't use Bahasa Malaysia. They use Bahasa Inggeris. So why don't you go and attack them? Why are they not using Bahasa Malaysia? Oh, because they are all mostly Bumiputra. They know Bahasa Malaysia. Yeah, but the point here is that you're saying an education that doesn't have Bahasa Malaysia, or put Bahasa Malaysia on the sideline, is causing disunity. What about UiTM? And if you check, many of public universities also using English as their mode of instruction. Okay. And then you have the private school, private universities also using English. I come from private university, they use English all the time. No, zero Bahasa Malaysia. Why don't you attack the private universities? You don't attack. You say it's the fault of Vernacular School. Isn't it the fault of the private university and also the universities for using English? Certainly not. It is those 13 issues that I have brought up by people like from UMNO and also for Parti Islam Malaysia. They are the one that causes disunity, not Vernacular School, and not the misuse or the underuse of Bahasa Malaysia. Then there is also the issue of, oh, because you have Vernacular School, then all the non-Malays, they are there, they are segregated from the public school. Well, number one, there are 25% non-Malays there, mostly Malays in Vernacular School. There was a report in the intake of Standard 1 at some school, they're all non-Chinese. But you say to that. Then what about the Tahfiz school? What about the Sekolah Agama? Full of Malays only, isolating themselves from others. Is that not a problem? And then we have the international school. My children, a son and a daughter, teaches at international school. Many of these people don't have Malays as their friends. Why is that? It's because of the demographies, because of the socio-economy, and also, of course, maybe many of them are afraid because they look at people who are Muslims and Malays are like Parti Islam Malaysia and UMNO, who are always kurang ajar, as well as also very, very disrespectful. Kurang ajar means also disrespectful. So no wonder they would not dare to make friends with Malays. It's because of these fine examples of Malayness as well as Islamicness. Then we have Sabah and Sarawak. Sabah and Sarawak uses English in their parliament or in their Dewan Undangan Negeri. They can use Bahasa Malaysia, they can use English. Then they wanted to build in Sarawak their own international school curriculum in English, of course, and they also uses half English, half Malay in their, and they have vernacular school. They give money to vernacular school. They acknowledge vernacular school. Why don't you attack them? Why don't you attack Sabah and Sarawak? Of course you won't attack them, because if Sabah and Sarawak cannot become your political partners, you cannot rule Malaysia. Nobody can rule Malaysia. PAS cannot rule Malaysia. UMNO cannot rule Malaysia. And so they concentrate only on attacking DAP, Chinese, Christians, and all these things. So this is the methodology. This is the one that causes disunity. Weaponization of race and religion, as well as ignorance on the social media users, as well as most people, and this just natural kurang ajarness, or what we call disrespect in relation to that. So with that, I would just like to end by saying that here I've proven that it's got nothing to do with vernacular school. I have friends, colleagues in UCSI University who went to vernacular school. They are very nice. One of them is my dean, another one is my head of department. They can speak Malay, one can speak very well, the other one, it's okay. But they are all very good, and they all have no notions of trying to be unfair to the in the architecture department. There are quite a number of Malay lecturers, and I think Malay lecturers form quite a big number, and there is no sense of being unfair with anything. And so this is where I think a lot of this accusation has no merit whatsoever, and we need to tell each other that these people just have no idea except frighten Malays, or frighten some of us, in order for us to be divided so that they can conquer some votes. And I think this is the message that we need to tell those people. We don't buy that anymore. Thank you very much.